Welcome to Bracket in Session. I am your host Alejandro, or Mexi as I'm known in the Smash community. In this show, special guests and myself analyze and nerd out about Smash Bros. Ultimate, its competitive meta, and major performances in our local scene. In this episode, we'll discuss Link from the Legend of Zelda series, how to play him, how to beat him, and more. I suggest that you grab your favorite drink, relax, and enjoy the show as Bracket is now in session. Welcome back to Bracket in Session, listeners. This is going to be a very exciting episode where we talk about Link, still one of the earliest characters in the game, and I think it's a very fun one. To help talk about him will be Bin. Hello, Bin. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing quite well. So, before we get to talking about Link, do you want to give a bit of a story of how you started with the game? Maybe gone from casual to starting out at tournaments, then getting PR, and now?
Yeah, so I started back in Smash 4. Used to play a lot on the 3DS, and then when it came out on the Wii U, I actually went to my first tournament, which was a SAS. They used to only run best of one there back then
Really?
because of time restrictions and whatnot. I ended up getting second at my first tournament. I lost to Ignis in Grands. And I think that's what kickstarted my career. I was like, damn, I'm not bad at this. Maybe I should look into it more. So I started playing competitively since then. Took a bit of a long gap during VCE, and then I started playing again in Ultimate. Um, but yeah, I didn't actually play Link in Smash 4, funnily enough. I picked him up in Ultimate after playing Breath of the Wild because I really love that game. I'm like, all right, I'll pick up Link. And here we are.
So was it then you liked the game he was from, I suppose, and then decided to switch over to him? That's a very common reason why people play specific characters, I suppose. Because when I
Yeah.
started, I played Steve because I loved Minecraft. He just happened to be busted as shit. I wonder if you had gone like O2 at your first bracket, like most people do, would that have changed anything, or would that been like, all right, maybe I'm not so good at this?
Uh, I don't think it would have changed anything, really, because the game's just fun. Um, yeah, and I don't play the game to win. I play the game to play the characters I like, which are Pit and Link, because I really like both of their games. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. Cause yeah, you like I'm glad you mentioned that actually, cause you're maybe not one of the few players in Vic, but definitely there's more people who solo main than co-main, which takes a lot more effort in my opinion, because you have to like practice both of those characters, or more if you even have um a tertiary or something like that. Is that something you recommend to other players, or is it like really hard and you should only do it if you're really gonna put in the work?
Um, I think it depends on the level you're playing at. I think solo maining is better in general,
Mm-hmm.
but depending on your secondary, it can be very strong. Some characters are really hard counterpicks to uh, the meta. For example, Min Min, Game and Watch, like just having those characters as secondaries is really broken. Uh, I wouldn't recommend co-maining Pit and Link. They kind of have the same weaknesses. Um, but yeah, I think co-maining is totally fine, but I wouldn't recommend it if you are like low to mid level. It's when you start reaching like high level and even top level, you can start considering a co-main if you feel like solo maining isn't cutting it for you.
Yeah. And you mentioned this very briefly, but like, how come? Because who did you play before? I suppose before, like in Smash Four, and you made the switch to Link because of Breath of the Wild. So is it entirely like loyalty and love for the IP, or do you also resonate with how he plays and the archetype? I suppose.
Uh, I think it's just the IP, honestly. I played Pit because I really like Icarus Uprising. And Pit was horrible in Smash 4. His Nair sent in a random direction, so
Really?
um, yeah. Uh, so yeah, it was literally just I like the characters.
Well, that's
Um,
perfect. So I suppose we can move on to section one, which is playing as Link. And obviously, like picking up a character, you have to learn their breads and butters and like the combos that they have to do. So, if you're interested in picking up Link, what's something that you definitely recommend you start learning?
Right. Funnily enough, the first thing I learned as Link were the bomb loops because they looked cool. I do not recommend that. But he doesn't have a lot of bread and butters. It's just down throw. That's his main combo throw, and it's pretty tight to hit those combos, even though they're simple. So like down throw into up tilt, down throw into up B, they both can be frame perfect. Um,
Really?
yep. He's more of a freestyle character rather than someone you look for combos with. So like you throw your boomerang, if it hits, you can like react and get the combo, like a forward air or an up B. Um, if you land your nair, you can confirm it into combos. Um, Everything kind of just combos. There's not really a how do I put this? It's not like me brawler or pit, where they get their down throw and they get their up tilt combos or their up air combos. Um, you kind of just have to work with what you're given. He'll get like two hit combos at most.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like it is mostly two pieces, but there's like a lot of stuff that like can happen, I suppose, especially with boomerang and
yeah,
with bomb, I suppose.
yeah. A lot of that stuff isn't really something you can like lab out. It's more so experience with the character, like knowing when your boomerang is coming back, knowing where your bomb is positioned to use it in the combo. So yeah, it's
So,
not something you'll hit consistently. You just have to be aware of like your surroundings and your projectiles.
hmm. So if he doesn't have too many breads and butters, then would you recommend to either practice or look out for in matches when you're just starting out with the character to get better?
I would say Nair. I think that's the obvious answer.
One hundred
Um,
percent.
so you don't want to just like spam Nair. Well, I guess you do, but like you want to use it in a lot of links that are at low level don't really space their Nair. When spacing it is the best thing you can do with it because it becomes unpunishable when you space it. Um, so yeah, just learning to space your Nair is huge. For example, like uh, I like to call it touching them with your toes. Uh, you just tickle the edge of their shield with your toes, and they can't do anything about it. And then you can start mashing jab or down tilts afterwards. Just yeah, safe nairs. And the second one you want to focus on is forward air. That move is a bit tricky to use, um, because it's two hits and only the second hit kills, and a lot of links will tend to fast fall too early and mess up getting the second hit.
Right. Can you get anything off of the first hit? Like the first hit of like Yoshi back air kind of thing, or no?
You can with the bomb, but aside from that, not really. It's not like Young Link. You can't do forward air into down tilt. Um, uh,
Damn, Link is Unk.
yeah, Link is Unk. He's a bit slow.
What about because the I feel like the remote bomb is like the biggest thing in his game plan, right? Or like his neutral and how to get around him. So if you
Yeah.
want to get better at it, how do you use it well in like neutral, for example?
Um, so the thing about the remote bomb is how versatile it is in neutral. So you can throw it at the opponent, and then once it's there, they have to consider whether you're going to blow it up or not, or whether you're going to run at them. If you drop it on top of their shield, it can bounce on their shield and it stays an active hitbox as well. Um, you can also like throw the bomb slowly by hitting it with a nair so that it moves slowly towards them and then you can run alongside it as well. So just using it in a bunch of different and creative ways really adds to the concept that's called mental stack or mental load, whatever you want to call it, which is where the opponent has to think about too many things at once and it kind of slows them down. This is really important because Link himself is a slow character, so he needs the
Hmm.
opponent to slow down to play with them.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like bomb when it exists, it just becomes like kind of Link becomes maybe like a bit of a trapper because with trappers they have to have something that the opponent has to be aware of that's separate that acts like a bit separately to the character. So just it existing, it's um
Yeah,
maybe like a way worse Snake C4, but like,
Yeah, yeah. But the thing about Link's bomb is, unlike C4, you can like, throw it towards the opponent and stuff.
Mhm.
So it is a bit more versatile than C4. Not as scary, but it's still a threat.
It doesn't have the same thing with like DDD's Gordo where they can hit it back at you, right? If the opponent like attacks when it's in front of them, they just catch it, right? Or can they hit it back like Can or
They
Gordo?
either catch it or they clank with it.
Oh,
If it has an active hurt hitbox, like if you throw it, they can either catch it or clank with it. It's only when it loses its active hitbox, you can hit it with a move to knock it away.
right, right. And with the like it having that active hitbox, like I know that this is like a huge part of why Link is so scary, particularly when you're being ledge trapped by him. Because if you drop it down like at the very edge, and the opponent like neutral get ups into it, it'll like still hit them into either an F tilt or literally anything you want, which is really
Yeah.
great. So, is there like a specific spot you have to put it in, or just general range? There it is, and that's ledge trapping for you.
Uh, it actually depends on the character. Some characters you can't put it all the way at the ledge, because their neutral get up it puts them a bit forward past the ledge. And other characters are just too short, so you have to soft toss it instead of hard tossing it, which makes it last a bit shorter when it's bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, in general, the bomb ledge trap is one of the strongest parts about Link, I think, so it's really important to learn.
100%. Is there more different things you can do with it, or is it generally like you wanna just try to get it at that specific spot where it is gonna be restricting what they can do with neutral get up or jump or that kind of thing? Or is there maybe
It's,
do you ever put it like roll distance or throw it upwards or something?
there is more you can do with it as well. So when you throw it down at the ledge, you can also ledge trump them immediately, and this will cover every single option except roll. For example, if they try to jump off the ledge, as you ledge trump them, they'll get hit by the bomb into your up B or whatever. Or if they
Mm-hmm.
neutral get up, they'll get hit by the bomb. So they can't buffer an option to escape your ledge trump aside from roll. And this makes it really easy to, 50-50 a kill at ledge. You can like throw it there and they think, oh, he's going to trump me. And then you just charge an F smash the other way.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's pretty good stuff about the bomb. Um, what about like some of the other strengths that he has, and how do you play into them? Like how because of his sword, that's actually pretty big in my opinion. It has a lot of range. Some moves like quite
Oh,
less coverage, like up air maybe, but he kills early. So
he
so how do you
does.
play into those?
I think his biggest strength is the consistency of his kill power. Like, for example, some characters, they can only kill in very specific ways, and if you try to avoid those options, you can live forever. Fox, for example, if you just hold shield, right? You just live
Mm-hmm.
forever. Uh, Whereas Link, all his aerials can kill except for back air, but back air can kill confirm anyway. Um, he's got strong tilts. He doesn't have to commit to a smash attack or an up B. He can just keep throwing out safe moves, and eventually one will kill. Um, he's also really good at shield poking, which isn't talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time, I just get kills by fishing for shield pokes with forward air or just nair and kill confirming it. Um,
I feel like the tilts in themselves are maybe a little bit of a commitment, no? Like I feel like they're kind of slow.
the tilts, yeah, they're a bit slow, but they do have decent kill power, so it's a lot safer than like throwing out an F smash, for example. Well, for a normal character, if like
Mm-hmm. Because with this forward smash, that it's like two hits. The first one, if you just do the first one, is that like low end lag, or is it still as committal as you might as well do the second hit as well when you do that?
it depends on the character. Uh, if the character has a good out of shield to punish it, then you probably want to just do a spaced F tilt instead. Um, but otherwise, yeah, you can just mix up between the first and the second hit, and some characters just can't punish it.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. With how do you balance between like spacing moves with like forward air and air or tilts or like jumping back and boomeranging and projectiles and arrows and that kind of thing?
I think it all depends on where you are on the stage, um, and how much space you have between you and your opponent. Um, so, for example, you don't want to boomerang too close, especially against faster characters, because you can get punished for that. Uh, a lot of people just wait for the boomerang to hit their shield when they should be trying to punish the startup instead if they're fast enough. Um, so in those situations, you want to stick to nairing or forward airing or using your tilts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, just it's just typical. It's like Young Link. If you've watched Jono play, if he's like across the stage fire arrowing, he's mashing the B button across the stage, and if you're up close, he's mashing the A button. It's the same thing with Link, just a bit less
He's just a
fast.
little Youngling's just a little bit better at it, yeah. And if you wanna, how do I explain it? Like, how do you go around the weaknesses that he does have, like how slow he is and how laggy some of his other moves are, like the startup with the side B, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you have to be a bit tricky with your movement. He does have a really good wave bounce in the boomerang. Um, you have to have a lot of conditioning with the bomb to slow them down, like I mentioned earlier. Um, yeah, you just have to play a little differently to, um, I guess, like most other fast characters.
Mm-hmm. And once you do get a neutral win, and in your advantage state, what is the goal? Is it to juggle them to all eternity, or is it to get them off stage for an edge guard, or for the 50-50 let's traps until you do get the kill?
It's always throwing them off stage. Link's not the best at juggling, so you want to throw them off stage for either an edge guard or a ledge trap.
And what if you're the one in disadvantage?
If you're the one in disadvantage,
Yeah, how does he do
it
against being juggled or edge guarded?
so once again, this is a matchup thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time, you can get away by just pushing nair and fast falling, but against like some of the faster sorties, that's not going to work. Um, so you want to either mix up fast fall air dodges, you want to mix in a wave bounce boomerang. You can even bomb yourself to like get out of there and just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you just have to do whatever you can. He doesn't have the best airspeed, so he can't just drift in one direction really fast. So he really has to use everything in his toolkit to mix it up.
Yeah, I feel like
If Nair
that's
doesn't work, that is.
yeah, exactly. I feel like that makes for a fun character if every option that you have is useful at some point, like either being a mix up or different situations. And now, because you've been mentioning like it depends on which character you're fighting. How does he do against like the different archetypes, like zoners, rushdown, sorties, heavies, and hit and runners?
Um, Honestly, he does pretty okay into all of them. I'd say some of his worst matchups are probably just the DLC Kazuya, um, Steve. Luckily, Steve's banned. Pyramithra is pretty bad for him. But against most of the base cast, he can make do. Against zoners, his Nair is a lingering hitbox that can beat most other projectiles. And his bomb, you can set it up in front of him to block the stronger projectiles, like Samus Charge Shot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the other thing with zoners is jumping is the main way you deal with them. You jump over their projectile, and Link's very good at, landing into you with a Nair. So that's how he deals with zoners. He doesn't zone them himself. He just tries to, just jump in and then wall them out with his own projectiles when he can. As for rushdown characters, um, you have to be good at parrying. Um, his frame data is not too bad if you can parry. Up B's frame 7. Um, and bomb out of shield is frame 4. So those are decent get off me tools if they're up close. And the other thing with rushdown characters is they all tend to be really light, so they kind of explode when you hit them with a forward air or something.
True. Is bomb at a shield a real? I don't see that often. I feel. Does he when he pulls it out? Does it hit the opponent?
No, no. So you just have a bomb in hand, and for example, if Fox nares into your shield, you can just Z drop the bomb for a really quick out of shield option.
That's pretty cool. What about other
It does
sorties?
combo.
Or I
As
guess
for other
other.
sorties,
Yeah.
this is where his projectiles would come in. Because most sorties don't have projectiles themselves. And if they do, they're a lot worse than Link's. So you just kind of
Mhm,
zone them out, make them approach. And then if you parry their sword attacks, you can always punish it with your up B, which is really big.
mhm.
So yeah, the game plan kind of changes between all the characters.
And with super heavies, I'm pretty sure he just kind of has a good time, right?
He has a great time with super heavies. Love fighting super heavies.
Is that because like it's just so easy to hit them with forward airs and nairs and all that?
They just every single zero to death combo just works on them. They all get edge guarded really hard because their recoveries tend to be quite bad. His up B destroys them off stage. They can't get off the ledge at all. It's just a really good matchup for Link.
What about the really squishy characters that are super fast, like the Greninjas, the Inklings, the Sonics?
Yeah, once again, he can struggle with those, especially if they have the lead and they just run away for the entire game, because they can just dodge his projectiles. Um, I remember Ryan once. I let him go to FD and he just double jump camped me for the entire game, and I couldn't hit him. So Link can struggle with that, but once again, they're light. So if you do land a hit, it'll kill really early.
That is definitely true. I suppose now we can move on to section two, which is if you're versing a link. So we've gone into them like a little bit, but if you're the one on the other side, how do you exploit his biggest weaknesses, which is like being really slow and easy to edge guard?
The biggest one is if you can parry Nair, he kind of falls apart because that's his main neutral tool. Um, so yeah, I when I fight Lynx, as I always swap to Pit and I just parry, and then I can get a free down tilt every time. Um, just he kind of falls apart. You um you also want to juggle him really hard because he doesn't have good airspeed. His down air is actually small, like it's smaller than Young Link's, for example. Um,
Really?
Yep. And his Nair doesn't have a big hitbox below him. So most up airs will either beat or trade with it as long as you have even a little bit of a disjoint. So juggling him is really good. Um, I wouldn't suggest trying to edge guard him because he can just bomb recover back. And then, he's back to center stage and you went off stage. So the roles are reversed. Just in general, he's really good at reversals. Like, you probably don't want to mess with him at the ledge either with his up B. Um, Like you think, oh, I'm gonna hit him. He's gonna do the scoop. I'm gonna two frame him, but he has quite a bit of drift mix up to play around that. So it's always dangerous. It's like Crom, like obviously it's quote unquote easy to edgeguard Crom, but if you mess up, you die. So it's up to you whether you want to risk that. Um,
True.
Instead, what you should do is just ledge trap him. His options off ledge are pretty bad. Because forward air is not safe if he jumps off ledge because he can't space it. Um, yeah, and he doesn't have multiple jumps. He does have a pretty far roll. You have to be aware of that, and a pretty big get up attack. But aside from that, if you just ledge trap him well, he can have a terrible time.
Hmm. So that's interesting. Because I feel like, well, I guess again, like everything, it depends on what characters you're versing. Because some characters have really good hitboxes right below, and his up B doesn't have a hitbox like above him. So I feel like if it's a spike, even better. But otherwise, it still just hits him further off stage. And
Yeah.
I feel like well, it's hard, but if you have a really big hitbox to throw out in the air, if you think he's gonna bomb recover, you can just kind of be in the space where he might like blow himself up to and then hit him there.
Oh yeah. But then again, he can DI his own bomb recovery to go lower or higher if he wants. Um, It depends on the character. If you're playing like a character with a good jump and a beefy hitbox, you can punish him for it. Um, whereas if you play Game and Watch, for example, there's really nothing you can do about it. You should just let him get back because your forward air can't knock him out of his bomb recovery, and your back air he'll just fly straight through even if it hits him because it's a multi hit.
Oh, true.
So it really depends on the character.
So mostly you want to be, if you're in advantage against him, you want to be right below him and be ready to parry nairs.
Arenas, or if you have a decent up air, just throw it out there. He can't really challenge it.
I see. That's the thing. I feel like down air. Well, obviously, you know way more than I do. But like from my own experience playing against it seems like it beats kind of everything. How do you like beat down air, for example?
Oh, you treat it like a worse Young Link down air, basically. um, so if your character does not have a disjoint on their up air, so Pac-Man, for example, then you obviously can't challenge it. But other characters, Donkey Kong, any Swordy, with big disjoints or invincibility on their up airs, they easily beat it out. It's not too big. But if you don't have a disjoint, you just stay below him and wait for him to land, and you either parry it or you stay like slightly out of range because once again his airspeed is slow. And then when he lands, you whiff punish the landing.
Is that like decently laggy or is it not?
His down air, he can auto cancel it from really high up, but it's still punishable. Like for example, if you have a tether grab, that's really strong against Link. You just tether grab his landings from just out of range.
Hmm. Now, if you're playing neutral versus him, how do you? What sort of things should you be thinking about? Because I'm thinking like the like exactly like bomb, which is like one of his biggest things. So how do you deal with bomb?
Um, there is no like correct answer. It just depends on how the Link is using it. But the biggest thing is you don't want to be scared of it. You want to realize what they're using it for. Are they using it to scare you? Are they blowing it up straight away? A lot of the time you can just ignore it. Because Links won't blow it up straight away, but if they do, you can roll past it or once again, it's all just one giant mix up. Um, Bomb isn't too scary though. It's never gonna kill you like C4, so don't be scared of it.
So it's like a manner of not respecting it too much, essentially.
Yeah, you don't want to play scared, and you don't want to be playing slow because that's what Link wants, right?
Hmm. Now, what about if you're trying to get in on him? Like, if you don't have the tools to outzone him, how do
Yeah.
you approach?
Um, I would suggest just slowly walking instead of running at him because you get access to your shield easier. You don't accidentally run into his forward airs or any projectiles. And once you get close enough, you want to stay at a. Most characters should be faster than Link, so you want to stay at a kind of mid range where if you think he's going to jump at you, you can anti-air him before he jumps at you with a boomerang or something or an air. And if he does go for an air, you can also just, whiff punish him as he jumps in. I think that's the best way to play neutral against Link.
Now, because I mentioned before, like just earlier, about trying to outcamp him, is this something that some matchups it definitely can can happen?
Yeah, you either need a really fast projectile like fire arrow or a really strong one like charge shot. But most other characters, he'll just nair through your projectiles. And um, so if you want to camp Link, the best form of camping against Link is actually just running away from him and using your movement to outmaneuver him.
Yeah, true. Like Rebs.
Yep.
Now, because I think this is like most of people's biggest problem when they're playing against Link is getting off of ledge. So
Yeah.
I believe that some of the things that the opponent can do, there's for example with the classic setup with the bomb, is time a either drop down, double jump, or jump air dodge to catch it if he's not expecting it. Otherwise, is it because if you're waiting, you can also he can also blow it up and kill you once you or not kill you, but hit you once your invincibility's
Yeah.
out. So what are the what's the thought process if you're at the ledge against Link and the bomb is there?
It's all about mixing up. The one option you never pick is neutral get up. Don't pick that. Some characters have a long enough roll to avoid the F tilt, so you can do that too. For example, Wii Fit or Roy. As for other characters, you have to check if you jump into the bomb. For some characters, it knocks them into the F tilt anyway, whereas for others, it knocks them back to the ledge. If you're one of the characters that gets knocked back onto the ledge, jumping is a really strong option for you against the bomb ledge trap. Um, because Link can't F tilt you, he basically has to hard read it and blow up the bomb, which doesn't kill too early. Um, some other characters can also Z catch the bomb off the ledge. So it's really something you have to lab with your own character and find ways around it. There are you have to think outside the box. For example, I think Zach figured out Pac-Man can instant wall jump off the ledge and then double jump afterwards to get out of it. So yeah, there's quite a few ways to actually get off it. It's only bad if you're autopiloting roll and neutral get up, the just your basic options.
Right. It's yeah. It seems like a lot of them involve jumping instead of like trying to get past it. Um, which I feel can be kind of tough to do as well. Because if you just jump above it and it doesn't like hit you, then you still have to land, and Link is still right there to like catch you with. For example, he could forward air or just wait for you to land and do something else.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it seems really hard.
It is hard. It's one of the character's strongest points. So you know,
Yeah, it's fair. And also, if you play a character that can recover super high and try to put yourself in a situation where he has to juggle you to keep you in a disadvantage, that's probably really good. Like I'm thinking of Rob and Snake and those sorts of
yeah,
characters.
yeah. Because his airspeed is he's quite slow. So if you've got a lot of airspeed, it can be tricky for him to chase you. His up air is also really skiddy because it goes straight up. So it's a bit tricky for him to pinpoint where you're going to land.
Mm. And with the parrying nairs, for the new players that like find it hard to practice those sorts of things, how do you what do you recommend to like practice the timing of the neutral air? Because um no way. The way parrying works is like the moment it touches, it's about to touch the shield, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, there's no easy way around it. You just gotta do it. Uh, like when you're in bracket or when you're playing friendlies, just don't be scared. Just let go of your shield. You'll mess up a lot at the start, but that's the point, right? You eventually learn the timing from messing up.
Yeah, very true. What other tips do you have against for playing against your character?
Um, I think we went over all the main points already. Um, tilt your shield up. That's a pretty important one. Like I said, he shield pokes really easily. And another benefit to tilting your shield up is it makes his nair less safe on your shield because it's hitting you from higher up. And for some characters, that single frame can make the nair punishable. For example, Pac-Man might be able to nair Link out of shield if you tilt your shield up.
I actually didn't know that. That's really interesting.
So tilting your shield up is important versus Link. Um, punishing the startup of Boomerang instead of trying to deal with the end lag because it has no end lag. It just has a lot of startup. So try to call him out in the air, especially if you got faster moves than him.
And in what situations would he choose to toss out a boomerang where you can think, oh, this is probably when it's going to happen?
When he's like a bit further away from you, like I'd say like mid range, a lot of links like to jump in with the boomerang because that gives them their strongest combo. and can lead to combos into like forward air or up B. So you can just call that out. Just like jump into him with an aerial that'll beat the boomerang and hit him.
All right. I think that's pretty good for section 2, I think. So section 3 is where I think like especially I will know pretty much nothing about, but what were his how good he was in previous games? Do you know much about that?
I think he's been consistently pretty bad.
I think he
um,
was the worst character in 64. That's like the one thing I remember.
yeah, he's not been great. I think it's because for some reason Sakurai thinks Link should be slow in Smash games, whereas if you've played him in any of like his actual games, he's really fast.
That's really funny.
Um, so yeah, he's been pretty bad. Like Ultimate is his best iteration, and it's still not like the greatest.
Is that was he considered good in early Ultimate, or has his tier placement in this game been still pretty consistently mid?
It's been consistently mid, yeah.
Damn. I mean, at least he's got the consistency, I suppose. So
Could be worse.
where
It
would
could
you put
be
him in the tier list?
uh I think Ultimate, if you're not including like the top tiers, is pretty balanced. Like there's a lot of high tiers. Um, I think he's a solid high tier, maybe on the lower end of high tier, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, because you mentioned like at the very beginning that he does pretty well into almost every like arc character that isn't DLC. So with that thinking, shouldn't he be like really high? Except with the like Aegis, Kazuya, and
Uh,
Steve.
so you have to consider I'm talking about Link. So when I say pretty well, I mean he doesn't get bodied. Um, so when I say pretty well, I say like it's probably like even or slightly losing, or at best slightly winning. Um, so yeah, it's he's just flexible enough to deal with those characters. It's not like um, I would say Pit's a better example of doing well into most of the cast. Link's a bit more polarizing, I would say, because he can just lose really hard sometimes, or he can just destroy you sometimes if he lands the right hits.
Yeah, 100%. So I guess I feel like I already know what you're gonna say, but this is one of the talking points I have is if can he like do it in the current meta? Probably the answer will be no because of who the top tier characters are. But if that's the case, do you think he needs a secondary?
Um, I don't think Link needs a secondary. He's flexible enough. If you are good enough, I think he can do it, but you'll need to have like a really good day or a lot of bracket luck. Um, he's also kind of a hard character to have a secondary for because he requires a lot of dedication. Um, as for can he do it in the meta? Do you mean like can he win a major?
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
talking a major in Australia or a major like overall like in
I
a
suppose
global
I
major?
suppose give an answer for both because I know that it's a different answer.
I think it's doable in Australia.
100%.
Um, I'm not sure if it's doable like on a global scale because, for example, Gluttony, the
Hmm.
top five player Wario main, um, he said Link is his favorite character, so he started playing Link. Um, he says Link sucks, but he plays him because he really likes the character. Um, and since picking up Link, he's made some good upsets, but he's way less consistent than he used to be. He's not even the best player in France anymore.
Wow. So it's just for the love of the game.
Yeah, which I think is fair enough. We're reaching
Yeah.
end stage ultimate.
Yeah, the eighth year of the meta.
Someone told me an interesting fact. Um, it has now been longer from the release of the game to Sora's release. Uh, like that's a shorter time frame than from when Sora was released to now.
Oh no, that's insane. He was like released in like 2021, no?
Yep.
Oh
Isn't that
god,
crazy to think about?
that's insane. Like, cause it's the longest gap we've had in between any game.
Yep.
Well, 2026. Here's to hoping. But
But
hmm?
but yeah, continue. Sorry.
No, that's all good. I was just gonna ask you like, if there's any like weird and wacky matchups that Link has, any that would be like surprising, either good or bad, or just very fun.
Fox is really fun because um he just destroys you in neutral, but then you hit him once and he just evaporates. Like he'll just be dying at 30 and like it's really funny. Um what else? Heavies, like obviously all the bomb combos just destroy the heavies. They can't do anything about it. Um
Surely maybe K. Rool can do a little bit better because he has his own projectiles and can reflect.
yeah, Carol does do slightly better than the other heavies, I think, but again, he gets edge guarded really hard by Link. He gets hit by the bomb combos and there's nothing he can do about it. Yeah, it's not good for Carol. But yeah, I think Fox is the my pick for a weird Link matchup that's oddly fun.
Is there any that players would like think is good for him but is actually bad?
Ooh, good for him, but it's bad. Uh Not really, no. I can't think of any because there's not many matches where you think, "Oh, Link destroys that guy." You know,
Yeah, true.
aside
Actually,
aside from the heavies, but like,
damn.
yeah,
Maybe I was hoping Little Mac beat him somehow, but
no. Link just sits on the top platform of Battlefield and just tosses bombs down.
that guy will get a winning matchup one day, maybe. So finally, is would you like to give any shout outs to other Link players in Australia who are maybe up and coming and are doing well?
There aren't too many Links left, honestly. Like, I know there was Polyrhythm. I don't know if he plays anymore. Um,
I don't know
there
if
was
she does. I think she might
Widdershin.
have moved somewhere. Oh yeah, Widdershin, Wi-Fi player, I think.
Yeah, Widdershin was pretty good, honestly. I think they just play Wi-Fi now. I'm not sure. There's Bam Bam, who's been trying to improve with Link.
He's been doing very well.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I think uh yeah, just those three off the top of my head. I don't can't think of any other links. Um, at least not any others I should mention.
Yeah, it's like when I was like writing up the episode, I was like, wait, there's like no other links, and then I thought of like two. I was like, oh shit, but like that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
It's not a very common character. Um, so now before we wrap up the episode, do you have any finishing thoughts on the character?
Um, he's really fun. Like once you get to learn him, like the bomb recoveries are so silly, like just flying around under the stage, over the stage. Um, I think Sakurai did a great job. Like he feels like he does in Breath of the Wild, you know, just like there was even bomb recovering in Breath of the Wild. I don't know if you know this.
No, I've never played any
Um,
of those games.
yeah. So and you know all of the tricks and you need to think of, you need to be really creative when you play him. It just gives me that Breath of the Wild feel. So I think Sakurai did a great job.
Yeah.
I think they should have given him stasis so he can just witch time people. Um,
No,
that would
please
that,
no.
that would be awesome. But maybe in the next game.
Yeah, definitely, because like he changed from every single iteration until like from what he was before Ultimate to now, because he got like
Yeah,
the because Bomb was different, wasn't it? I didn't play very much Smash 4, but
yeah. He had Youngling's bomb before.
Oh, so you couldn't even like it wasn't even remotely like
No,
explodable.
no, it was just a timed bomb like Toon Link and Young Link.
Oh, so this is much better. Yeah, I feel like if you're playing as Link, my thoughts is like you kind of have to, which may be the same as it is in like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but you kind of have to solve the puzzle of your opponent and then use your tools to beat them, which are like pretty good in their own right, I think. So
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. Well, thank you very much, Ben, for being a guest coming onto the show. I hope you've had a good time talking, nerding out, talking about your character. Um, Maybe come back for the pit episode.
yeah, sounds fun. Sounds fun.
Yeah, oh, good. So tune in for the next one where we'd be discussing Samus, with no technique and fears. So hope you all have a good rest of your day, and we'll catch you later. See ya.